What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Do you guys remember a video I did a while back of a viral TikTok video where a woman is encouraging other women and saying, listen, it doesn't matter if you're in a healthy relationship. It doesn't matter if there's nothing wrong. It doesn't matter if your husband is in fact a good man. She says, leave him. Leave him. And the reason she said leave him is because she was justifying the fact that if you believe you'd be happier by leaving that good man, the man who you actually can't find an actual problem with, then you should still leave him because that's what will make you happy. And I made a whole video about that, talking about how, well, you know, women who do that are basically lying when they go on the altar and like are basically lying in their vows when they promise to stay faithful no matter what, but then leave for no reason. And in fact, even when you are a good husband. Now, that video went like crazy viral, and a bunch of women have actually reacted to that video who disagree with what she said. One of those videos is a video that I'm going to play right now of a woman who shared her experience watching a woman actually do this in real time. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
I have a little story time to share after this brief clip for context.
If your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce, you're not a bad person. So don't let guilt get the best of you.
I had this friend some years back. She was my best friend in the whole wide world. We hung out constantly. I enjoyed her company. Highly intelligent woman, quite attractive, married. Husband is very attractive, very successful. Not only did he provide for his family, she didn't work, but he cooked, he cleaned.
I just want to read the caption there. It says he was deep six figures and they owned their New York apartment. He's funny, confident, and definitely not a simp. They had everything, she says. And I appreciate her clarifying that because, you know, if you're aware when it comes to modern dating, these are the type of questions you have in these type of situations. You're like, was he a simp? Was he broke? What was going on? And she kind of laid everything out there so that we know. For us coffee drinkers and to all my baristas, make sure you guys join and become an official barista of the channel. Let's keep watching.
He took care of the kids. He was emotionally open and available. Every time I'd come over and hang out with both of them, you know, he was so talkative and emotive and empathetic. I thought, wow, they're the perfect couple in my opinion. Two beautiful teenage children, perfect life.
Right.
I used to drop things off at her house. She would tell me, oh, can you drop this off? And I would go over and he would be in the house cleaning. I mean, Ajax and Pine Sol and Windex and mops out. And he would ask me, you know, Demi, how does everything look? Do you think she'll be happy? Is this up to a woman's standards?
I don't have a coffee mug with me. Otherwise, this would be a time I take a sip of that coffee, right? He would clean. This man would clean. He would help out in the house, which there's nothing wrong with helping out. But the extent he was willing to go to please his wife, I hope was grateful. Let's keep listening.
Friendliness, you know, he said, I just love her so much. And I would say, wow, you know, you're really incredible. Of course she's going to be happy. You know, you did an amazing job. You always do an amazing job. The relationship with my friend, something started changing in her. You know, she started talking to me about depression and she's overweight and she didn't like it. And it never bothered her husband. I mean, he adored her no matter what, but she started complaining about her weight and this depression and saying that she needs to go to therapy. Which she did. She found a therapist and started going. But after she started going to therapy, I noticed there was a dramatic change in her. She started complaining after these sessions. She would begin complaining more and more about her husband and how he's making her miserable. And I would say to her, what do you mean? This is all of a sudden new for you since you started seeing this new therapist.
Right.
So I started inquiring about the therapist. You know, what are her beliefs? And she said, oh, she's very feminine.
Whoa. Okay. And so that's where the video cuts. And this is part 1, everybody. Part 1. We're going to read some comments. So far, what we've talked about, what she shared is she had a friend. She was married to a guy who she thought was exceptional. Not just a good guy, but he seemed like exceptional. Had the money, had the conversation skills for this chick to find her attractive, and saw no reason for there to be problems in that relationship. She thought that they were perfect, but the wife did not think so. So she went out to seek therapy, and then the woman started complaining about her husband. And after hearing more of the complaints that woman had to the husband, who this woman thought was great, she found out that the therapist was a feminist, and a female therapist, it sounds like, at that. So we're definitely going to get into part 2 and find out how that story ends. We're going to read the comments for this first video first. This first comment reads, "Use the law of detachment with women. She's never really into you. It's just your turn." And the creator responded and said, "It's so sad." And she's probably saying it's so sad because she's realizing that maybe what society tells men to be this perfect husbands with no expectations, who accepts his woman no matter the shape, size, whatever, is actually what's best for that man in his relationship. She's realizing that, like, maybe that's a lie. Maybe as a man, you want to set standards and expectations for your woman, and you want to bring the best out of somebody you're in a relationship with, and it actually might work against you when you're just this guy who's trying to be this perfect husband. Now, guys, with that being said, I am definitely not saying that this woman was justified for divorcing this man at all, right? This is the craziest shit that I've been reading recently, which is, it's not like, oh, men cheat or people, women want to run to the abuse thing. It's literally, he's great, but I'm done. I'm not happy. He's not doing anything wrong at all, but I want to leave. And that is crazy. That is absurd. And unfortunately, there are a lot of women, modern women like that out here today. Here's another comment from another man that says, "Once I heard feminist therapist, I could finish telling this story." Yeah. When I heard that the therapist was feminist, I kind of, we already know how the story is going to end. Well, it might be surprising. We'll see. And the creator responded back to that guy and said, "Exactly. I was thinking the same thing when I heard it the first time." Now, the comment here reads, "Some therapists are the true problem." And the woman responded back and says, "In my opinion, going to the gym is the best therapy ever." Now, the comment here says, "Yeah, and that's why I'm out of the marriage race." And she responded and said, "If I put myself in a man's shoes, it's terrifying." Yeah, it is kind of crazy that there are women out here who convince themselves that this is okay. If I don't feel happy, then I should just leave. I don't actually need an actual problem. And we know that's not great for any relationship, especially marriages. Now, the comment here says, "I swear to God, this happened to me." Okay, so we have a man here who actually can relate. "It's like this story is about me and my ex-wife," he says. With a surprised face, after therapy, she wanted a divorce out of the blue. Does that really surprise anybody, though? It doesn't really surprise me that modern therapy today is highly influenced by these feminist ideals. I think it's important that if you're a man in a relationship, that you make sure you find a male therapist, then make sure that that man is ideally someone who you can respect to an extent. And there's studies that prove that there are better things in therapy, right? And that are relationships with other healthy people. So what that also may look like is you going out and finding a couple who is in a successful marriage, who you admire, and having their input be as valuable as that therapist. Now, you don't have to do one or the other. You can do both of these. Make sure you reach out to other people as well. But in most cases, man, you have these female therapists graduating from these woke schools where they're definitely pushing T. not coffee. And then they come to you and are like, wait, what? This is his fault. This is the patriarchy. This is your husband's fault. He is the problem. He drinks too much coffee. The actual creator responded and said, OMG, I'm so sorry, honey. Here's another comment that says, it's been going on for years. That's why a lot of us men don't really care to date anymore. This person says, another gentleman here added, she lost respect for him because he put no demands on her. And the woman responded back and says, but the thing is, when a man does put demands on the woman, she'll leave him too. This is why it's important for you to be in the type of relationship with the woman who also understands that nobody benefits when you're in a relationship where somebody just lets you do whatever you want. You'd be surprised the lack of relational intelligence people have these days, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. Here's another guy who also had a similar experience. He says, I was told I make her feel safe and warm, but she doesn't want that right now. The creator responded back and says, I don't think I understand what you mean. Well, I think he was confused too. Here's another, she's like stumped. Like, what does she mean by that? Here's another comment from username bruh, who says, people leaving marriages because they're bored in quotations now. Do they not understand that honeymoon phases always fade in every relationship? I don't think so. Here's another comment that says, one person's perfect isn't everyone's. Too nice is a real thing, and I get it. I didn't when I was younger, but at 42, this man says, I get it now for both sides. Another guy here says, that guy was literally me. So there are a lot of guys here who can actually relate to this story. And I think that's just sad and unfortunate that you could be in a relationship like this, trying your best. And there are people watching who are like, wait, what don't you like about this guy? And you blame your weight gain on him. We're going to find out what exactly she actually didn't like about this guy in the next episode that will be released here shortly. So guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss part 2 of this story. I appreciate you for checking out another episode of The Coffee Pod. Hit that subscribe button to make sure you guys don't miss part 2 of this story, and consider becoming a Coffee Pod barista by hitting that link pinned to the top of the comment section. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.